do get in trouble if you are a white person who puts on blackface on Halloween. Back when I was a kid, that was okay.
I'm Megan Kelly, and I want to begin with 2 words. I'm sorry.
And suddenly, Norm Macdonald was canceled.
I hope that I didn't offend any of you guys.
A Saturday Night Live shakeup. The show firing one of its new cast members before he even appeared on the broadcast. This comes after past racist remarks surfaced.
Everything is going terribly wrong, which is shocking, considering how much progress has been made. Agreed. I'm beginning to worry that Earth will fall. See for yourself.
This old man. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. This is America. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
To start eating babies. There's too much CO2. We need to eat the babies. There's too much CO2. We need to eat the babies.
It's evil. It does make me ask, how can humans be so intelligent and yet so ignorant?
Because they live under a physicalist paradigm. Therefore, are unable to adequately perceive their potential.
I disagree. The materialist model program has produced more human ingenuity and cures for disease than any code we've ever created.
But it's also created feelings of hopelessness and meaninglessness.
Things are going to get worse before they get better.
That remains to be seen.
Right now, many of us are either witnessing or participating in a new social media hive mind that influences how we think, feel, and behave.
Electronic screens can also disrupt sleep, and a lack of good sleep can result in depressed mood, moodiness, and irritability.
We now know that apps like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram can make us depressed and anxious, in part because of how they can change the brain, turning active participants in society into passive observers. But the word passive isn't quite right, because those who are arguing on Twitter every day, many of whom are addicted but don't know they are, might appear calm on the outside, but on the inside, their amygdalas, which are responsible for the fight-or-flight response, are ignited. We've managed to create a technology that, quote, connects us with an endless supply of political and social rivals, then makes it almost impossible to communicate with them, whether it be Twitter, with its character limits, and the fact that it's all in public, which often incentivizes salaciousness, and of course, the frivolous, made-up identities on everyone's bio, most of which are self-imposed caricatures that only serve to confuse people with different political views about who you truly are. Twitter causes social decay. It disconnects us from truly engaging with other humans and empowers mobs to feel as though their ramblings are creating justice in the world.
fascinations there are on this planet. Strange mortals with curious customs. Life itself is only a vision, a dream. Nothing exists save empty space, and you are but a thought.
They kept the populace busy with entertainment. But other dictatorships use other strategies to control ideas, the knowledge. How do they do that? Lower education. They limit culture, censor information. And it's important to remember this, that this is a pattern that repeats itself throughout history.
Of course, we've always been tribal. Or tribalism. Whether by religion or other spiritual means, we've repeatedly tried to quench this phyletic trait and coexist peacefully. In one sense, we've succeeded. Extreme poverty has fallen by half since 1990. Literacy rates are the highest they've ever been. So is education, leisure time in developed countries, and the health of newborns. Child labor and mortality rates are the lowest ever, alongside teen births and smoking. And in the US, violent crime continues to decline, including school shootings, which are the lowest they've been since the early 1990s. We obviously still have problems, but with all these improvements, why do many of us still perceive the world as getting progressively worse? Or maybe I could ask it like this. Among all these improvements, why are we suddenly committing suicide at a nearly unprecedented rate, especially the youngest among us? What are we so scared of?
Oh, Dad, won't you spare me over another?
There's no single cause for suffering, but media, whether social or mainstream, negatively skews our perception of reality, both inadvertently and purposefully.
And as the parent of 2 young children, I'm particularly concerned about screen use and its effect on our children. Studies clearly show that we're seeing record levels of anxiety and depression coincident with smartphone adoption and social media use.
It's not just Facebook and Twitter, it's all of it. Many of us are getting all our information about the world through these apps, leading some to say that mainstream media outlets like CNN are dying.
Things could not be worse for CNN right now. Look, I gotta be honest, I think we are seeing the eventual collapse of CNN.
But this is not entirely true. Notice what this CNN media coordinator, who was recently caught on camera admitting CNN's coverage is racially biased, which isn't surprising, says at the end of his sentence.
Craig clicks, get more money. Craig clicks, get more money.
He's not talking about television viewers, but getting, quote, clicks. CNN is not dying. They're transitioning to the internet and have managed to maintain relevancy and influence by partnering with big tech, who ensure their videos, along with all other in the mainstream media, show up first in search results, then demotes anyone else discussing the same topic. I can assure you CNN is not going anywhere. They've just changed strategies.
A white police officer fatally shot an African-American woman inside her own home.
This means that many of us are still being influenced by a media machine that focuses solely on the negative.
Homicide, murder, stabbing, death, stops, murder, death,
deathbed.
Severed arm.
Murder.
Stabbed at the gas station.
Unsafe.
Gruesome murder.
Crisis. Credible fear.
The term racist between July 14th and 21st was said 4,100 times on CNN and MSNBC alone.
We gotta talk about
Sorry.
the outrage is way overblown.
Shooters massacre and killed. Shooting.
13 hours of violence in this country.
Large capacity rifle magazines.
Handguns.
Semi-automatic.
Commercial.
Homicide.
Murder. Stabbing. Death. Stopped.
Murder. Deathbed.
Severed arm.
Murder.
Stabbed at the gas station.
Unsafe.
Massacre and killed. Shooting.
13 hours of violence in this country.
Large capacity rifle magazines.
Handguns.
Semi-automatic weapons.
Shooters.
But more importantly, we need to realize that the political world we see inside of our phones isn't real. Those who use these apps every day, throughout the day, are living in a kind of daydream. Clearly, we don't need to stare into our phones to daydream, because life in general is already dreamlike. But I argue that our social networks and media worlds on our phones can exacerbate this dream state by reducing the one thing that can help us wake from it: attention. It must be a coincidence that the act of training one's attention through meditation is practiced diligently by Silicon Valley elites. It's not a conspiracy. Big tech knows they've created apps that decrease attention spans, while at the same time they're using little to no social media and improving their own attention skills by practicing meditation. It's worth asking, however, that if ever there were a human trait an elite would want to exploit, it's attention. Because if we can't pay attention, we can't get out. We're stuck in the daydream, a place where our collective psyche poisons itself, ignorant of the fact that at any moment we can drown that part of ourselves that believes it's real and get out. Which brings us to the question, do you still think it's real? Are you still in there?
And it's important to remember this, that this is a pattern that repeats itself throughout history.
Drowning. I think it's a sweet end. Right before you're gone, there's no remorse, no grief, just tranquility. But the dread sets in when you're hauled out of the water. I want to drown again.
Contrary to the pessimists, I do think there's hope, if we can manage to control our lower egoic impulses. I think it's possible that the same collective power inside the outrage machine can be utilized for good. We already see semblances of this occurring online.
Hey guys, it's me, Tech. So it's probably my last video.
YouTuber Republic Attack who makes exceptional Lego creations, one day uploaded some very bad news to his subscribers.
Then I just found also broken windows and doors. And finally I saw also destroyed Legos just down the stairs.
Someone burglarized his home, stealing and destroying high-end, expensive Lego projects he'd spent years building.
And my creation, which was here, gone, totally destroyed.
His video jumped to millions of views, and in the comments section, more and more decided to band together and start a GoFundMe. They shared his story on their social media, and one by one, with a $5 here and a $20 there, they ended up raising over $18,000.
I'm not doing this kind of video on my channel, but like it's really an exceptional situation, and wow, I just don't have the words to express myself on this, but I just want to say that I am really thankful for all the very kind gesture.
Hello everyone, this is me, Protect, doing a new video in my new Imperial facility. So I would love to really make you a video tour, because if I have that many Legos in this room, that's thanks to you. If I have this new cute 8080, that's also thanks to you, to the donator, to the donation, so thank you again for that.
We enjoy doing things like this. Helping others comes from the same place that forgiveness comes from. The more of us who mobilize these positive traits within ourselves, the better our lives and therefore social networks will operate. It's true that, quote, cancel culture is the new thing right now. And it's true that there are some who don't see it as a problem and want it to continue. They have their own path. But I think that most of us want to live in a more forgiving world. We've simply forgotten, or may not even know, that forgiveness frees the forgiver.
You came out in support of Shane Gillis. This is a guy who they found in his past anti-Asian remarks, but you backed him up.
Watching his work, I thought that he was a still figuring it out comedian who told some offensive jokes, and that to me was not something that someone should lose their job over. And so we should use this as an opportunity to become a little bit more understanding and forgiving.
We can also take a page out of the book from this young man, whose older brother was killed in his own apartment by a police officer who allegedly mistook the apartment for her own.
I want the best for you, because I know that's exactly what both of them would want you to do. And the best would be give your life to Christ. I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please? Please?
Yes.
It's good.
Indeed it is. I may have overreacted.
I've designed a new program.
That's impossible.
We live in the realm of possibility.
But they won't take it well. It's an entirely new physics.
Things will get worse before they get better.
I hope you're right.
Let's begin.